David Cassidy died painfully after compromising with guilt and loneliness. David Cassidy, a charismatic star of the 1970s, left an indelible mark on both the entertainment industry and the hearts of his fans. Born on April 12, 1950, in New York City, he was raised in a family deeply rooted in show business. His father, Jack Cassidy, was a renowned actor and singer, while his mother, Evelyn Ward, was an accomplished actress. Growing up with such influential parents, it seemed almost inevitable that David would pursue a career in the spotlight. However, despite his lineage, he carved out a distinct path that would make him one of the most iconic teen idols of his era. The complexities of his family life shaped David's early years. His parents divorced when he was young, which led him to live primarily with his mother. However, his father's strong presence in the entertainment world undoubtedly influenced David's ambitions. He grew up watching his father's performances on Broadway and television, which ignited his passion for acting and music. After finishing high school, David moved to Los Angeles to pursue a career in acting, determined to make a name for himself independent of his father's legacy. His big break came in 1970 when he was cast as Keith Partridge in the hit television show The Partridge Family. The series, centered around a musical family, became an overnight sensation, catapulting David to stardom. As the lead singer of the fictional family band, David's real-life musical talents shone through. His boyish charm, combined with his smooth vocals, made him an instant heartthrob, particularly among teenage girls. The show not only made him a household name but also gave birth to an international pop star. His song, "I Think I Love You," from the Partridge Family became a massive hit, reaching #1 on the Billboard charts and cementing his place as a teen idol. At the peak of his fame, David Cassidy experienced a level of success that few could have anticipated. He became the face of a cultural phenomenon known as Cassidy Mania, where fans would flock to his concerts in droves, filling stadiums and arenas across the globe. His fan base, predominantly made up of young women, was fiercely loyal. Posters of David adorned the walls of bedrooms, and magazines featuring his image sold out rapidly. He released numerous albums during this period, including Cherish and Rock Me Baby, both of which achieved significant commercial success. His music, characterized by catchy pop melodies and heartfelt lyrics, resonated with the youth of the time, solidifying his status as the ultimate teen idol of the 1970s. Despite the adoration and attention, fame also brought immense pressure. David often spoke candidly about the challenges of being typecast as the squeaky clean Keith Partridge, a role that, while bringing him fame, also confined his career. He struggled with the tension between his public persona and his desire to be taken seriously as a musician. David wanted to evolve artistically, exploring genres like rock and R&B, but the image of Keith Partridge overshadowed those efforts. The weight of managing this fame took a toll on his personal life, leading to feelings of isolation and dissatisfaction despite his outward success. Behind the scenes, David Cassidy's personal life was tumultuous. The intense pressures of fame led to a sense of disillusionment, and he began to battle with substance abuse. Throughout the late 1970s and 1980s, his career waned as he struggled to break free from the teen idol mold. He attempted to reinvent himself as a more mature artist, but the public was slow to accept this new version of him. David's personal relationships also suffered during this time, as he grappled with the high expectations placed upon him by both the public and those closest to him. However, David Cassidy was nothing if not resilient. Despite facing setbacks, he continued to work in the entertainment industry, appearing on stage in various Broadway and West End productions. His performances in musicals such as Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat and Blood Brothers were met with critical acclaim, showcasing his versatility as a performer. These theater roles allowed him to step out of the shadow of Keith Partridge and prove himself as a serious actor and singer, reigniting his passion for the arts. In the 1990s and 2000s, David experienced a career resurgence. He made several television appearances and embarked on reunion tours with his former Partridge Family castmates, much to the delight of his devoted fanbase. Despite health issues and personal struggles, he remained a beloved figure in the entertainment industry. He continued to perform live, drawing crowds of fans who had grown up with his music and still cherished the connection they felt with him. David Cassidy, once one of the most recognizable faces in the entertainment world, lived a life fraught with personal struggles, emotional pain, and loneliness, which culminated in his tragic and painful death at the age of 67. As a teen idol during the height of his career in the 1970s, Cassidy became an overnight sensation due to his role as Keith Partridge on the musical sitcom The Partridge Family. However, his fame came at a great cost. Cassidy's final years were marked by deteriorating health, failed relationships, and a deep sense of regret for the missed opportunities in his personal life. Cassidy's first marriage to actress Kay Lenz, whom he wed on April 3, 1977, seemed to hold promise at the time, but their relationship was not strong enough to withstand the pressures of fame. Kay Lenz, a rising star in her own right, struggled with the intense spotlight that surrounded Cassidy. Their relationship was deeply affected by his demanding career and the ever-present attention of his fanbase. Cassidy himself later admitted that he had been unable to prioritize his marriage, which eventually led to their divorce on December 28, 1983. This marriage, like many aspects of his personal life, left him grappling with feelings of guilt and failure, a recurring theme throughout his life. After the end of his first marriage, Cassidy entered into a second marriage with Meryl Tanz, a horse breeder. They had first met in 1974 at a horse sale in Lexington, Kentucky, but it wasn't until 1984 that they tied the knot. Cassidy had always had a deep connection to horses, which he saw as a respite from the overwhelming demands of his career. However, even this common interest could not save their marriage, and Cassidy's relationship with Tanz eventually crumbled. Their marriage ended in divorce in 1988, just 4 years after it began. His inability to maintain long-lasting relationships, despite his deep desire for companionship, weighed heavily on Cassidy, exacerbating the loneliness that he would increasingly struggle with. One of the most painful aspects of Cassidy's life was his relationship with his daughter, actress Katie Cassidy, who was born in 1986 from an extramarital affair with fashion model Sherry Williams. David Cassidy's affair with Williams, while brief, resulted in the birth of a child that he never fully parented. Katie was raised by her mother and her stepfather, Richard Benedin, and though David Cassidy was her biological father, he played no meaningful role in her upbringing. He would later speak about his absence from her life with profound regret, saying in February 2017, "I've never had a relationship with her. I wasn't her father. I was her biological father, but I didn't raise her. She has a completely different life. I am proud of her. She's very talented. It's hard for me to even accept how old she is now." Cassidy's words reflected a deep sense of guilt, as he came to terms with the fact that he had missed out on being a father to his daughter, further contributing to his feelings of isolation. Cassidy's third marriage to Sue Schifrin in 1991 appeared to offer him another chance at stability, but it too was doomed to fail. The couple had one child together, Beau, who was born the same year. For a time, their marriage provided Cassidy with some semblance of a family life, yet the pressures of his career, his unresolved personal issues, and his growing dependence on alcohol put a strain on their relationship. By August 2013, the marriage had deteriorated to the point where the couple had separated, and Schifrin filed for divorce in February 2014. Cassidy's financial troubles only compounded his personal difficulties, as he filed for bankruptcy in 2015 after years of struggling to manage his finances. He moved to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in 2002, hoping for a fresh start, but his life continued to spiral downward. Cassidy's battle with alcohol had been ongoing for many years, but it wasn't until 2008 that he publicly admitted to having a problem. His drinking took a heavy toll on his personal life and his health, leading to multiple arrests for DUI over the years. Despite his attempts to regain control, his addiction continued to plague him. His struggles with alcohol were not just a public spectacle but also a deeply personal battle that he fought for much of his life. By the time he was diagnosed with liver disease, the damage had already been done. In February 2017, Cassidy's health took a dramatic turn for the worse during a performance in Agora Hills, California. As he struggled to remember the lyrics to songs he had sung for decades and even appeared to fall off the stage, it became clear to those around him that something was terribly wrong. Shortly after this performance, Cassidy revealed that he had been diagnosed with dementia, a condition that had also afflicted his mother and grandfather. "I was in denial, but a part of me always knew this was coming," Cassidy admitted, reflecting on the inevitability of the disease. The revelation marked the end of his performing career, a difficult reality for someone whose life had been so deeply intertwined with music and fame. Cassidy's health continued to decline throughout 2017, and he was hospitalized after falling ill while recording in a studio. During a phone conversation with a producer from AE, he revealed that he had met with his doctor and had been told that he had liver disease. He described the dramatic change in his life since receiving the diagnosis, admitting that he had been unconscious and near death for the first few days of his hospitalization. Cassidy also made a painful confession: "It was complete alcohol poisoning, and the fact is, I lied about my drinking." This admission revealed the extent to which Cassidy had struggled to come to terms with his addiction, and how deeply it had affected both his health and his personal relationships. On November 18, 2017, it was announced that Cassidy had been hospitalized with liver and kidney failure. His condition was critical, and he was placed in a medically induced coma. Although he came out of the coma 2 days later, his prognosis remained grim. Doctors had hoped to keep him stable long enough to receive a liver transplant, but time ran out. Cassidy died of liver failure on November 21, 2017, at the age of 67. His death marked the end of a long and painful battle with alcohol, guilt, and the loneliness that had haunted him for much of his life. In a poignant and heartbreaking revelation, Cassidy's daughter Katie shared that his final words were, "So much wasted time." These words encapsulated the deep regret and sorrow Cassidy felt in his final moments. His life, once filled with the bright lights of fame and adoration, had become a lonely and painful journey toward an inevitable end. Despite his many achievements, Cassidy's personal demons had taken a heavy toll, leaving him to reflect on the time and opportunities lost.